you're going to need cardboard. So in this case, I have a pretty standard piece of cardboard here. This is, I would say, about 14 inches by 30 inches. And what I've done is I've taken the length of my ruler and I've created these nice dark lines so that I know exactly where I'm going to cut. And that's really how we're going to start building our assemblies for sculpture. And in most of the projects that we're going to be dealing with is exactly how we're going to start. So basically what I've done here is I've created a couple of strips, and this is kind of, if you think about your work, this is what's probably going to take the longest time to create this process. And while you're cutting, I would suggest being very patient. It would be great if I had a paper cutter, which is where I'm usually in school. We usually have that available to us, but at home I only have one of these box cutters. And again, I don't recommend kids handling box cutters because yeah, I've gotten cut. So what I would recommend is have the adult in the room, prepare the material, okay? And this is pretty much how we're gonna do that. And you wanna make, it's kind of loud, you want to make enough of these so that you can actually start building your projects with this. And you could use a smaller ruler. I just happen to have this one. I like to use big rulers. And basically, that's what you're going to be looking at. So that's the first step in getting and starting to put our material together. Now, I've spent some time cutting material, so I've made quite a few of these. And again, we're going to be using these strips throughout the entire class or sessions. So feel free to make as many as you have to. And I've gone a little bit, made quite a few here, as you can see. But I guarantee you will use everything you cut up. But this is very workable because I can now cut this in half and start making my forms. I can cut it down into smaller pieces and create what we call little wedges or brackets, if you will. So there are multiple uses to working with our cardboard. So you want to get, I'm going to say I've got 2, 4, 6, I think about 10 and 10 of each. So 10 like this, kind of thin. I went ahead and I also, if I double the width of these, you wind up with these little strips too. So I made these, and I'll show you how I'm going to use these in another assembly technique. We're going to just put a line right down the middle of that, and then we're going to cut, but we're not going to cut straight through. We're going to cut just enough so that we could bend this in half and create an L bracket out of it. And that will be really nice for some of our structures that we're going to build. So go ahead, we're looking at about 10 strips of the thin ones and maybe, I would say, somewhere between 6 and 8 strips of the double size one. And the double size ones, basically, if you took your ruler and measured once and twice, you'll wind up with this size strip of wood. That's what you're looking for. Okay? So that's part of that. Now the next thing we want to do as we build our structure, we build our materials, is the pieces that we are double in size, we are going to score down the middle. And in this case, we don't want to go right through the cardboard. What we want to do is use our scissors like this. You open your scissors up, and it could be a smaller scissor, it could be this size scissor, and just score it right down the middle. See what I'm doing? I'm not going right through the cardboard. I'm just scoring it right down the middle. And what that does, and then we're going to bend it in half like this so that this part is connected and we get a nice little L bracket. And you want to do about 3 or 4 of these. These are going to be the sides of our structure. You'll see when I put that together how this will form. So you want to do a few of these because this will basically be the edges of our structure, the corners, if you will. And they'll come out really nice if you do it that way. So I went ahead and I did a few of these. And this is my final one. These are going to be the 4 corners. What we're going to do is basically create a box-like structure. Okay? So I did a few of these. See, I'm not cutting right through the cardboard. I just want to score it so that I can bend it. Here we go. See how easy that is? Okay. All right. And one of the other things that you'll notice is when you do this, you'll notice that the corrugated board kind of goes with the line. So that's what you want to. You don't want to cut against it. You want to go with the lines. It'll be a much nicer and stronger structure in the end. So I did about 4 of these. These will be the 4 corners of the box that I'm about to create, or the structure of the box I'm about to create. So that's one thing you want to do. You want to have about 4 of these. A size doesn't really matter here. You want to make them a little bit like, we want to build a rectangular box. So we want to get a longer and a shorter side. But if you want to build a square box, that's quite fine too. I also took the time to make at least 10 of these little separate strips. And if you can tell by what I've done here, they are about the width, the same width of my ruler. So I like to have shapes that are kind of similar, so it keeps it all consistent. So that's what you may want to do. Now the other thing that I've done is now I'm going to make my brackets, and my brackets are going to be used to hold my structure. I won't be needing this, but I will definitely need my scissor. And what I'm going to do is I already lined this up. I made the measurements, and I'm just going to cut a few of these. Every other mark. And these don't have to be super accurate, but they will help when you put your structure together, creating braces for your structure, and you'll see how this all works out. But you want to have enough of these. I made a little extra here. Maybe I'll use this one a little bit smaller. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I may need more than this. I may need less than this. I don't know yet. But if you do decide that you need more, you could always go back in there and measure another set of these and cut them out again. Again, it's pretty easy. Just like that. And make a few more. Okay. These will come in handy, as I said, when you're building your structure. So that's something that you want. The second thing you want to do with our brackets is once you've made these, you want to go in there and score and bend them. And I usually use my ruler, and I go in here and do the same thing I did before. Score it, so you go right through the surface and bend, okay? And this is what you want. You want a nice little bracket, okay? You want to score. It doesn't have to be too heavy of a score, but just enough to get it to bend. And that's what we do. Let's see, one more here. All right, that's kind of cool. This one is a little uneven, so I'm going to fix it just like that. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's what you want to do with these guys. So make about 10 of these. They'll come in handy.